not looking good. It's not looking good. If you are a person who has watched this channel for any significant amount of time, you know that I am a person who always says that the most racist people in America are the white liberals. I live in California. I live in Los Angeles County. I've grown up with these people all around me. I know how they think. I know how they operate. And I have said this. I am a well-researched person, well-read. I've been around the world. I'm not even in the country, as you watch this video. I've been all around the world. I've been around the world and right? This type of thing. And I'm telling you right now, and I've always said it, that the white liberal is the most racist person in America. And it really helped me understand that the Democrat Party was the originator of the Ku Klux Klan when I interacted with white liberals, or it was kind of in reverse, because I dealt with white liberals and I was like, yo, these people act super racist, like when I was younger. And then I said, but when they talk about racism and where it started in America and where it kind of came from in America, they always tell you that was the South, the red states. These are the people who don't like people of color. But I would, when I was in middle school and I had Mexican kids calling me the N-word, and I'm looking at the situation like, hey, they told us that you was on our side. They told us that this was the Black-Brown coalition and y'all was supposed to be working with us. And I read about Cesar Chavez and the migrant farm workers movement and all that stuff. And here I am in Colton, California in middle school, damn near getting stabbed and called the N-word by a Mexican from Northside Colton, which was the gang they had out there. And I was really like, I didn't understand it. But as I got older, I understood everything perfectly clear. See, as I dealt with the white liberal, I understood everything. Okay, I'm just making sure the sound was good. But as I dealt with the white liberal, I understood that any and everybody who falls under the umbrella of liberalism within the United States of America, these people inherently are selfish. They gain your trust by making you think that they care more about your situation than you do at times. But in reality, it's everything but altruistic. The reality is that they're simply pretending to care about you to get you to let your guard down so they can get close enough to you to exploit you for their own gain. I'm watching videos where you have anti-ICE protesters, the most woke, radical, bleeding heart, Greta Thunberg ass, we love everybody and we gonna protest every damn day until something changes. I'm watching videos where these people are approaching not only Black ICE agents, but also just general security guards, and they're calling them the N-word. They're calling it you. We have come full circle to the point where you now have white liberal people calling Black folks Uncle Toms, coons, house N-words. And if I say nigga, it's gonna be like house nigga with an A. They like, nah, you a house ER. Nigga with an ER on the end. And what's crazy is when they start with the disrespect, do you ever notice that none of the other do-gooder whites or Hispanics around them, hey, hold up. We understand you mad. We understand you passionate, but you can't get to the point where you're disrespecting someone's race and their culture because they don't agree with you. Do you ever notice that when they start with the disrespect and the racial slurs and slander, you never hear the people around them correcting them? Why? Why is that? Well, the reality is they're not correcting them because they feel the same exact way. They just may or may not be brave enough to say it. And when I was watching this video where the crowd was calling this black ICE agent a house Nigger with the hard ER. What I noticed, it was actually men who were calling him that. It wasn't women. A woman might say something because she's like, oh, the man ain't gonna do nothing. You have white liberal men referring to black men who they don't agree with as house Nigger. And would you believe it that not a single news station, not a single mainstream media station other than Fox News, and I believe Australia Sky News covered it, not a single liberal news network covered it. You know what's crazy? Even the man himself, Don Lemon, who always talks about racism and how racism, notice Don Lemon didn't even cover it. Can anyone answer that question for me? Why are the people who use racism, who weaponize racism the most, why is it that when a black man's getting called the Nigger, why is it that they're not even reporting on it? There should have been an uproar. There should have been an outrage. You don't hear Al Sharpton out there. You don't see Al Sharpton out there. You don't see Ben Crump out there. You don't see Jamal Bryant. You don't see Oprah Winfrey. You don't see Whoopi Goldberg. You don't see none of these black celebrities who use the race card and racism as their reason for being. You don't hear a single one of them saying, hey, yo, I get that we are getting heated. I get things are getting heated. I understand that, you know, you're dealing with people you don't agree with. We know people are emotional. ICE is pissing people off for what they're doing, but there's never room to basically use, you know, the hard ER on a black man because you don't agree with him. Now, mind you, these are the same people, at least with Al Sharpton, who when Charlie Kirk got killed, Sharpton went on stage and said, we don't shoot over disagreements. We debate that. But you ain't heard him make a single statement about these people surrounding this black man and calling him a house hard ER, all because he's doing his job of working for ICE. And you know what's crazy? Go to your liberal friends, go to your granny, go to your mama, go to every single person that you know who sits up and we need to be out there protesting with the Mexicans. Why don't you go to them and show them that video? I'm not showing the video here because I'm on my cell phone anyway, but let's go show them that video and let's see what they have to say about it. And you know what they're going to say? They're going to say nothing because they're a bunch of cowardly sheep who are going to fall in line and do whatever the Democratic Party tells them to do. The people who fight for what they claim is going to be freedom, it seems like when it's all said and done, they're going to have anything but freedom. Because I didn't know that in order to help illegal criminal alien migrant rapists stay in the country, I had to go back to being a nigga or a nigger. I didn't know that. That wasn't in the memo. They don't put that on the freaking job description. But it's just what I told you guys under Joe Biden. You are the idiot who's going to be replaced by these illegal criminal aliens. That is why as they gain power or as the people advocating for them fight for their right to be here illegally, you continue to be reduced back down to what you were during chattel slavery. Am I wrong? Bro, think about this. Think about it. This is not just a regular black dude walking down the street. This ain't George Floyd. This is a black man with a badge of federal agent, and they are totally comfortable calling this dude a house Nigger. Do you feel that, black folks? Do you feel it? Do you feel everything that you've worked for slowly slipping away from you as they continue the process of replacing you with another group of people? You keep saying, oh, the replacement theory, that's fake. Oh, Project 2025. Hell, guess what? You were worried about Project 2025. You were worried about Trump putting you in chains. But since 2025, when Trump was inaugurated, to this day, in the words of Deontay Wilder, the only person I see taking ground from black people are white liberals. They're the only ones trying to reduce you back to plantation, can't see in the morning and can't see at night. They're the only ones I see doing that. But it really pissed me off. And I said I was going to show that video, but I realized I have two phones. So maybe I can. But it really pissed me off to see these people out in that street and that black man's just doing his job and they calling him the N-word with a hard ER. And what pissed me off even more was the fact that I don't see enough black people getting mad about it. Y'all want me to be mad because what happened to a damn Venezuelan rapist, but then we supposed to just be cool with the disrespect. It's not happening. It's not happening. And thank God there are enough of us with the good sense to not get out there and march and protest for these bastards. But at the same time, there's too many of us even on the internet sitting up trying to demonize Donald Trump and ICE when, bro, the people who you're working to support, they basically think you ain't shit. You ain't nothing but a prop that they could use when they want to, like a damn scarecrow. They just stick it on up there when they need you, and then when they don't need you no more, they just walk off on you like you ain't nothing. I got this girl on my Instagram. She's from one of these Caribbean islands. Donald Trump's a pedophile, and yeah, I'm with ICE, and you black freaking spot. Do you understand that these people don't give a shit about you? You up on an island in America, going back to your island, talking like some Mexicans or whatever, gonna show you love. Dude, if I tell you Hispanics are some of the most racist people on the planet, and I'm wondering why people who claim to be fighting and advocating against racism are fighting for these people. Boy, they'll call you the N-word so fast it'll make your head spin. But I keep telling folks, everybody's your friend until you have something they want. But black folks, we live in a constant state of plausible deniability, and we try to make a million excuses. I was rewatching the video with Dr. Claude Anderson where he was on the Breakfast Club and he talked about how Dr. Martin Luther King was bad for black people and that affirmative action hurt the black community. And you know, Charlamagne, he's sitting there looking stupid as fuck, but it's cool. He didn't say nothing. And I got people in the comments, oh, he's not telling the whole story. I'm like, so your black ass is going against a person who was a damn economist who worked in the White House, and what he said hurt and helped the black community and the black economy. And because it's not the narrative that you want to accept and that's easy for you to swallow, you're going to say he's not telling the whole story. Well, I look at your profile picture, you're at least 40 years younger than Dr. Claude Anderson, so you weren't even born yet. But this is what we have. We got a bunch of people who don't know shit trying to tell people who do know and who have done the research and lived this experience what is and what ain't, and what did happen and what ain't the right narrative. You got somebody from Atlanta surrounded by black folks their whole life trying to sell somebody from California who've been surrounded by Mexicans their whole life how a Mexican don't feel about them. Sometimes you just got to shut the hell up. Let me play this real quick. I got the video right here. Y'all ain't gonna be able to see this that great. Oh, yes, you can. Okay, let's do this.
Like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay, how do you feel about ripping people from their families?
Nothing, sir.
You're good.
Fucking house nigga in here.
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
Why are you calling a woman a man? I mean, what kind of a guy does that? We fucking house nigga fucking neighbor.
Okay, so
here are 10 facts about Donald Trump from the Epstein list. Number one, Donald Trump is mentioned in the document, but not in a way that adds proven criminal.
I don't know why that won't go away.
Trump's name appears in some.
Hold on. Okay, so anyway, so notice the dude's just getting in the car. This white dude or whoever, Mexican, I don't know, he comes up and says, "Oh, you effing house N-word, working for the enemy, working for the white man. You freaking house N-word, working for the." Now, if you're out here protesting on behalf of black Somalians, brown Mexicans, how many different layers of common sense and how many mental roadblocks do you have to just go through to get to the point where you call a black dude a house N-word on camera around a bunch of people? You've always felt that way. You don't give a damn about black people. Minnesota ain't no place where they're like, we just love black people. Don't you know? No. Bro, you've always felt negatively about black people. And now that black people don't support something that you think is right, now the racism and the hatred for black people is coming out. That is the very origin of the KKK, y'all. The same men who put on the white sheets and rode around killing black folks and stringing them up, those were the same plantation owners who was putting their arm around black people, talking about, yeah, me and Justifius out here working, and boy, he's like one of my own. You know, they loved the black man when they were able to force the black man to do what they wanted him to do. But as soon as the black man had some self-determination and could do what he wanted to do, the true hatred they had for him came out. White folks they were saying that they slaves was like family. Until the slave didn't have to wake up and bake you damn buttermilk biscuits every morning. And then he went back to just being a nigga. That's exactly what you're seeing right there. You're not agreeing with what we think is best, so you are an N-word. And hasn't that always been the case with the Democrat Party and the leftists? They only love black people when we're helping them get what they want. That man literally, in my opinion, expressed the sentiment that Joe Biden had about black people that he just could not express because he was running for president at the time. That man literally said, you're not on our side, so you get to go back to being an N-word. And the worst part about it was there was a bunch of women around him, right? And he asked somebody who probably was a trans or something, he said, are you a man? The one... Right after he gets called the N-word, the woman doesn't say, hey, don't call him the N-word. She says, did you just call a woman a man? And what in that exchange, as brief as it may have been, in my opinion, summed up the entire relationship between African American or black people and the white liberal and Hispanic liberal in America. They only need you around for what they need you for. And the minute you don't capitulate to what they want you to do, well, you might as well be back on the plantation. Yeah, where is everybody? It's Thursday night. I'm in Africa. Where y'all at? Anyway, so, but this is what I'm saying. It's like, what did we get? You didn't fought all these years to keep the Democrats in office. Black folks been voting Democrats since past LBJ, since FDR. You didn't support the Democrat Party all this time. And what did you get? You went right back to being a nigga again. What did you get? You didn't even get respect within a party that you helped get to the point that it is right now. The Democrats would never win a presidential election if it wasn't for the black people. You went from Joe Biden telling you, oh yeah, without the black vote, I couldn't have got elected. We wouldn't have won, right? To someone openly calling a black man a house N-word, and not a single Democrat politician, not white nor black, has come out and condemned it. Y'all get up in here arguing me. Y'all know more than me. Okay, let's say that. Tell me, what African American or period Democrat politician has come out and denounced that person who said this dude is a house N-word because bro is just doing his job? I'll wait. They want Donald Trump to denounce the KKK and the Proud Boys every 5 minutes. But who's going to come out and denounce racist, liberal, leftist protesters who are willing to resort to racism and racial slurs against black people simply because we don't agree with them? Bro wasn't breaking in that dude's car. Bro wasn't robbing that dude's house. He wasn't snatching his purse, probably with these dudes, it's a possibility. He wasn't snatching his purse, right? All bro was doing was just doing his job. And for that, he gets disrespected. And I appreciate that, black man, because he didn't act the way a lot of us would have acted if we would have been put in that same situation. While I would have understood it, but he did not. He's the house in, but you the one outside looking stupid as hell defending predators. But I'm not seeing nothing from my black Democrats. I'm not seeing nothing from my black Democrats who sit up and tell me, oh, you a coon, you are this, you are that, you are that. Well, damn, I guess I am. Because according to that white liberal that you following behind, clearly you're the same thing the moment you don't agree with him. What type of alliance is that? What type of alliance is that? There's people who talk about the United States relationship with Israel or the Jewish people, right? The Israelis want to go in Iran and put belt to ass and tear Iran apart and destroy the country, kill the Khomeini, right? The United States said, nah, we ain't gonna let you do that now. I think they got the message. You don't need to do all that. Israel was pissed. They were livid. They were pissed, right? But they're still allies. Even if someone's your true ally, you will be able to disagree with them on certain things and still continue to work together, right? If someone is your ally, even though you may disagree on things, you will be able to still work together. Why would Black people in America align themselves with a group of people that the minute you express any ideological difference from them, any ideological separation from them, they don't just go to like talking crap on you. They go back to racism on you, which has always been the case with Democrats. We know that because of, look at Hillary Clinton. Oh, these predators, these super predators. We know that going back to Joe Biden. I don't want my kids living in a racial jungle. The Democrat Party has been showing you for decades and decades and decades exactly how they feel about African Americans, especially the African Americans who don't agree with them. So do you think that if the party that these people support feel that way about you, you don't think the people who support that party feel that way about you? As a matter of fact, the Democrat Party has trained other races on how to exploit Black people by you pretending to care about their issues to get us to let our guard down. And then the minute they're in a position of advantage, they take advantage and keep it moving. They did it. They taught the feminists how to do it to us. They taught the LGBTQ how to do it to us. And they've done it to us for years and years and years. And my question to you is, how long are you going to keep falling for it? The people on the internet, their minds are gone. Their minds are totally gone. I got friends who I've just given up on them because I look at their mind and I say their minds are totally ruled by what social media says and thinks and what they tell them to think. Let's get Castanova up here. Yo, my brother. Did you see that video?
Bro, I saw the video. It's crazy. I was talking to my wife about this, man. I got a question. The radical slave talk started around what time? Like 2015. I think it was a little bit after Black Panther, maybe. That's when these terms started to really, take off. House nigga and coon and all that stuff. My question is,
well, I think house nigga came on the plantation.
Well, for sure, but that was a dead term for a long ass time. Like nobody using that, bro. Like it got life in 2015, 2016. My thing is, it's like, how is the house nigga any worse than a field nigga? Because history tells us who often started the rebellions. It was the house niggas. Because they so close to massa and they know his weaknesses and his strengths. They know where to punch a hole. They know where it's a chink in the armor. So, Denmark Vesey's, house nigga. Frederick Douglass, house nigga. Nat Turner, house nigga. So you telling me these people are bad because they were in the house and not the field? So when you tell these people talking points apart, and you dissect them and you look at it from a historical standpoint and also a scientific standpoint, it don't hold up. It don't make sense for you to call somebody a house nigga like that's a bad thing. Like Uncle Tom is another thing that people like to throw around. And we all know Uncle Tom was just trying to help the niggas out there in the field.
Yeah, Uncle Tom was a good guy.
He was a good guy. Uncle Tom was a good guy. He was a good guy. So So you know, when people say stuff like house nigga, when I see people saying that, it's usually somebody who are strongly liberal, somebody who's been duped by their talking points. It's usually an African or a dumb Negro from America. Or I mean, in this case, they said it was actually a black dude who called them the house nigga in that video.
Nah, that didn't sound like no black dude.
Because that ER was hard. One nigga was a nigger.
Man, sounded like a Mexican or white.
Okay, yeah, but no, I mean, even if it was a black dude, he still
at those protests.
Huh?
I haven't really even seen any black people at those protests.
No, but you know they'll get one little, hey, I got a black friend, and they'll bring him in there just to get some color in there, like, hey, I've seen it. I seen the video a couple times, and I saw a nigga in the background yelling at him too. So I didn't know if that was him or if that was like. But the funny part about the whole video was the ICE agent just looked at this dude who's harassing him, this protester, quote unquote. He looked at him and he's like, "Are you a man?" Everybody like, "Wow, oh my God, did he just ask that?" I thought that was the funniest thing. He just asked a simple question, "Are you a man?" And then everybody, "Oh my God, this is like that was the worst thing ever." But this is the people we dealing with. These people got mental health issues, bro.
No, 100%. Yeah. So I'm looking at the Instagram clip of the video, and all I see is white people saying, so now it's okay for white people to berate black people at their job. Wow, the left has really done a 180. Wow, where's the outrage when a leftist uses the N-word with a hard ER? Might as well have some fun with it. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. Damn, Derrick Henry off-season workouts are intense. God bless ICE with this ICE agent. He is brilliant. Valid response from the agent. So it's okay to call color folks the N with the ER in the N. These people are unstable. Just call him the hard ER for being fed up with their nonsense. Devastating blow. Point for Department of Homeland Security. I could never be an ICE agent because I wouldn't have the patience and restraint like these fine gentlemen have. I'm telling you, listen, my granny used to say, look, it's going to tell on you before you tell on it. And I'm telling you, the Black community is taking a huge L, throwing their support behind these anti-ICE protesters. There is zero win in this for us for supporting this anarchy. And if anybody knows anything about politics, politics is about what you can get, what you can gain. Black people are literally just throwing themselves on the altar as a sacrificial lamb, and we're not going to get anything out of it. Because think about it. Okay, if they let the immigrants stay, we lose our communities and our neighborhoods. If they get rid of they end up getting rid of the immigrants, but we're going against ICE and stuff, what do we get? We just get the Democrats and the liberals turning on us saying, hey, we didn't win and we didn't get our way because you guys didn't help us. It's just a lose-lose situation. And I have yet to see a Black person who can explain to me where's the win in any of it. Because at this point, I'm thinking Black folks only getting out there because they like Mexican pussy. Black dudes and Black women because they like Mexican dick. That's the only thing I could think of that can make somebody go out in the street in the cold, right? In the cold to go defend a bunch of illegal criminals. This has to be about sex or something. Because
it's definitely about intersectionality, bro. Sex is a strong motivator. It's probably the strongest motivator on the planet. And a lot of them niggas, they be swirling, bro. And that's they don't want they coochie access to leave,
Well,
so they feel like they gotta fight.
I was in the county jail and I watched a dude get beat down because he said F the blacks because he had he was a Black dude and he had a Mexican baby mama. He was like, man, my baby mama Mexican. I could never be racist. F the blacks, man. They packed him out so cold. But I said, bro.
Was it Mexicans that beat him up or Black people?
Bro, to say that in a dorm full of Black dudes? Because you got a Mexican baby mama? it's like it's mental illness or something.
Yeah.
But when I was on No Jumper and stuff, I used to just tell the truth about the relationship between Black people and Hispanics. And I don't really have a problem with Hispanic people, but I just understand what it is and what it ain't, right? And that's all you have to do. You shouldn't hate on nobody because their race. If you see an opportunity from another group of people, take advantage of it. If you have an opportunity and a person of another group comes and they want to take advantage of it, hire or whatever based on who's best for the job. But that doesn't mean I'm going to pretend like there's not a long-standing vitriol between us that is rooted in racism on their part. I've never seen a Black person be racist to a Hispanic. But I've definitely heard Hispanics be racist to Black people. I've been around Black people, the most ignorant Black people on the planet. And even they show a certain level of restraint when it comes to disparaging other races. So the most ignorant of our community are probably gang members. And gang members will tell you like, oh, bro, we ain't racist. We don't, even the straight savages, they'll tell you that. So I don't understand why there's this thing where it's like now, oh, you got to throw all that shit. You got to put all that shit. That's water under the bridge. We got to get together to help keep they people over here in this country. And I'm like, why? I didn't see a single Hispanic protesting on behalf of Black people when Black people were being displaced in their neighborhoods, when they were allowing illegal immigrants. I'm talking about criminals to flood into this country under Joe Biden. I didn't see a single Hispanic saying, you know what, man, I do want my cousins them over here, but at the same time, we can't be displacing Black Americans just so we can have our people over here illegally. I never heard that. I never saw that statement on the news, none of that. But yet I have seen Black folks on the internet screaming about how we need to have allow illegal immigrants to come over here. I have seen that though. Any final thoughts, Costa?
I have seen that, bro.
Tell me.
You said tell you what?
You said you have seen it?
Yeah.
What have you seen?
You said liberal white folks tearing down Black people online, right?
No. I'm saying I haven't, when Black people were getting displaced by illegal immigrants in Chicago and stuff, when Biden was letting them in, I didn't see no Hispanics coming to the defense of Black people like, hey, you can't just be bringing these people over here to take over their communities. Did you ever see that in Little Village and stuff?
No, not like how they be all out in the streets and stuff. No, like if they get you on a personal level, I will say the Mexicans, they a little different over here in Chicago than they is in LA because they numbers not that big over here. So they kind of gotta, like tuck their tail a little bit.
But one thing I do know is that those Mexicans in Little Village was like, yeah, bring more Mexicans in. We'll bring them. They can come to this neighborhood. I do know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Little Village, you go through them, man. They gonna ask you, is you GD? Just if you Black, bro. Like, so it is like that. But they like if they get you one-on-one, like they won't be on no tough guy stuff. Like they'll kind of say what they feel like you want to hear. But if they got some numbers, then they'll start saying what they really feel,
Well, that's how they do everywhere. So I want to play this video. This reporter, she asked Kevin Gates what he thought about the ICE situation since I got the thing up here. So let me play this. I want y'all to hear this. This should be the response of every Black person.
You want me to be honest?
Hold on.
I don't give a fuck who don't like me.
Black folks should be utilized.
You want me to be honest?
Be real. That's all you can be.
This is what I do.
What you do?
Best advice.
What's the best advice?
I mind the business that pays me. I get up in the morning, I pray, and I work out.
Black folks should be utilized.
You want me to be honest? I don't give a fuck who don't like me. Like when they talk to Black Lives Matter, I say, man, I don't really care for niggas like that. I don't care to be around them. Because it's always some bullshit. Well, I'm going to go back to the Black community. Hey, good luck. Good luck. Why you ain't done now? Because you don't want that kind of pressure that's going to get applied.
Right. Man.
Because we kill each other all day, talk about each other behind each other back. Any family get together and we gossiping in the kitchen. Nigga, you just see me outside and went in the kitchen and decided to turn into a bitch ass nigga when you went in the kitchen. Yeah, Gates, he really think. Come on, man, that's all we do. When you look at my comments, the people saying negative shit be niggas. The Black Lives Matter movement, they got mad at me. They said, I told them, hey.
All right, so that's the thing, and that's one of the things I do respect about Kevin Gates. Like, Kevin Gates gonna talk about black people all day. Like, I don't mess with him. I don't this, I don't that, right? But when he's asked about somebody else's business, like what the lady asked him at first, oh, do you think black people should be doing more with the ICE situation? He said, man, I mind a business that pays me. And that's really like my only rule when it comes to like people who are critical of African American or black people like I am. Look, it's like this. When you do take on the task of criticizing our people and holding us accountable, don't be trying to go and fight the battles of other groups of people who got even worse skeletons in their closet than we do. And that's why I appreciate what Kevin Gates said right there. He like, I talk trash on my own people about tell the truth about some things I don't like, but I ain't about to go up and jump on the bandwagon on another group, because if I'm not a part of that group, I really don't even know enough about that group to know if I want to be on their side for real. And ultimately, they'll literally create a situation like where they'll get black people on board with something that just turns out being totally demonic. Because I still don't understand how you could be so loyal and committed to this idea of illegal immigrants staying in America that you about to vote for a Democrat who about to have your daughter up in a bathroom with a man with a transgender man. I don't see how you could be so motivated behind illegal immigrants coming into this country that you about to vote for a Democrat that's about to have your daughter on the court with a damn biological male playing sports. I don't see that. I don't understand that. So it's like, what about this situation? It is benefiting black people to the point that we about to sell out our whole community, our women and our mothers and our daughters and our wives, all in the name of helping these people. I really don't get that. But it's like, this Democrat Party is nothing but a party of self-destruction and death. And when you look at it for what it really is, there's no denying that. And I look at black people and I don't understand. I'm still trying to ask them this question, but I really can never get an answer. What about you, Kasha? You getting any answers on this one?
I can't really give no answers, bro. It's crazy because, yeah, like you said, that is true, bro. Like they radicalizing white folks to go out on kamikaze suicide missions. So if they'll do that with white folks, what you think they gonna do with black folks who volunteering to be the mascot of a party, bro? Like, yeah, like we're not getting anything voting for the Democrats. We haven't gotten anything the last 60 years voting for them. Again, I think like what Nicki Minaj was saying, they brought all of these illegal migrants over here, or illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them, so they could destabilize our vote, because they saw that we were leaving the Democratic Party in mass numbers. You know, like people ain't voting or people flipping red. You know, like, so they brought these people in, and it's like they doing a Jedi mind trick on black people, like you said. Like, how are you getting us to work against our best interest? Like that's sorcery. Like, one could see that as like they casting a spell on you or them hypnotizing us.
Well, the thing is, at this point, bro, at one point, ignorance was a valid excuse. But now, bro, we got the internet. We got these phones. Man, I'm telling you, one thing about this Epstein shit has taught me something. When black people got somebody that they don't like and that they want to try to tear down, they'll do all the research in the world. But when black folks want to be a willing participant in something, but they want to play ignorant, they'll act like they have no access to information. the bullshit that's coming out of the Epstein files is so nonsensical. But when I tell you black folks is sending me articles and sending me clips from the Epstein files and screenshots and all this stuff, and I'm just like, people are really invested in this stuff. We love a good conspiracy. That's
it's
probably
entertainment, Brandon.
What you say?
Entertainment. Like, they don't really care about children. They don't really care about what was happening to kids or allegedly happening to kids on this island. They just care about sensationalism. They care about being able to take this article and, hey, have you seen this yet? Oh, you haven't seen it? Well, I'm going to be the first person to show it to you. And I get some kind of points from that because I showed it to you. I put you on. That's what we say. I put you on. I put you on. Like, it's like it's currency for us, but it don't help us. I don't care about Epstein or Epstein Island. I don't think dude dead. I think somebody of that magnitude, they could just put him somewhere. Like they told us about Epstein Island, but what about before they told us about it? We knew nothing about it. And what about the other islands that they could potentially have right now that they haven't said anything to us about?
Black people, listen, bro. People in general don't care about life, bro. Like I said this on my other video. How are you going to convince me that you care about life when you have millions of black babies being aborted every year, and your response to that when you're confronted with it is her body, her choice? You think that women care about children being preyed on? You think a group of women who celebrate the ability to annihilate their unborn children really care about those children being trafficked, bro? Black women let their kids get taken by the system every damn day.
And they're the number one killers of black kids too. Like you said all the time, they're the number one killers of black kids. So
yeah, won't even fight to get them back. But all of a sudden, I'm supposed to think this heifer cares about child trafficking. No, she's using the child trafficking as a weapon against Donald Trump in the Republican Party.
100. 100.
So and this is I'm gonna kind of go into the Epstein thing because I want to talk about that too. But the thing with the Epstein files is this: African Americans, right? Let's talk about this. The Democrat Party claims to care about black people. These people keep saying, "Oh, we care about black people," right? Here's the thing: do I believe that abortion should be legal? Yes, I believe abortion should be legal, but I don't believe taxpayers should be forced to pay for it, right? But if you were going to say, okay, we'll make abortion legal, I also believe that there should be some type of resources put in place for black women to deter them from getting abortions, because abortion, the legality of abortion, is harming the black community disproportionately. If you look at black women, they account for almost 50% of abortions out of every single race. So whites, Hispanics, and Asians combined barely get more abortions than black women alone.
That's facts, Brandon. Hey, my sister done had like 4 abortions, bro.
Bro, I got a cousin who has 16 abortions. That I believe you. But I have a cousin who has so many abortions, it caused her to get blood clots all through her body. And this heifer gonna sit up there crying in the hospital. Bro, you want to murder, but you care about your life so much. You should have been like, go ahead and just take me out, boss. I did a lot of killing. You know what I'm saying? Dude, she getting rid of babies like she Blade on some vampires, bro, with no remorse, with extreme prejudice. But this is what I'm saying. Because let me just break this down logically speaking real quick. Logically speaking, if you have a group of people, right, who only represent 14% of the population, right, but they represent almost 50% of the abortions, wouldn't creating a situation for black people that encourages them to keep their children, wouldn't that be the right thing to do, even if just in the name of democracy? Just in the name of democracy, because what we know about democracy, that means majority rule, right? Whoever got the most people, that they win. Well, I would say that African Americans could sue the federal government, and now would be the time to do so on behalf of our community, to say that because on the ground, or on the basis that the federal government pushing abortion in the Black community has put us in a position to where it's subverted our ability to participate in the democratic process. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, that's fact. You could definitely leverage that. I don't know how far it would go with them, because I think so.
That is a way better case than reparations.
That is. That is indeed.
About it,
we can get the numbers to back it too. Like, how many babies have been aborted since 1960? You can get the numbers to back that stuff up, and that evidence, that amount of evidence that could seal it. But I feel like who we appealing to, like, we're gonna appeal to the same people who put it in place. Like, I don't really agree with abortions.
Well, the thing I'm saying is, like, you don't even got to appeal to the same people who put it in place, because one side is against abortion, one side is like whatever with the abortion. But what I'm saying is, you've been robbed of your ability to impact or affect the democratic process in this country, because there has been a proven campaign to get your women to get abortions, more so than any other group of people in America. Yeah. They've been on Black America, Margaret Sanger and all these people. They've been focused. There's been focus placed on getting Black women to commit abortions.
And she was a Democrat too, right?
Oh yeah, all Democrat. They got white women rolling around right now today with sterilization vans. I'm not even joking. Sterilization.
I thought it was crazy seeing a Planned Parenthood for the first time when I moved back here to Chicago in 2014. I didn't know you could just go to the corner and get an abortion.
Bro, they had an abortion bus in front of the Democratic National Convention.
A bus?
Yeah.
Man, they taking it to the next level. They like, oh, hey, but this is their extermination campaign. I'm big on conspiracies. This is their extermination campaign geared toward the Black race.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me ask you this question, and I ask this to everybody watching. How is Chuck Schumer saying that we have a birth rate problem in America? Chuck Schumer saying we need to allow 11 million illegal immigrants, or however many are here, to have American citizenship, when Chuck Schumer's party is literally advocating for the abortion of Black children by the millions. So we have a birth rate problem in America, but every 4 years the Democrat Party runs on a woman's right to go get an abortion. Do you see how these people create the problem and then try to convince you that they're the people who are going to provide the solution? Let's get Americans to stop having kids, because if they have kids, those kids generally will go 50-50 when it comes to politics, right? But let's bring a bunch of illegal immigrants in who are going to vote based on whether or not which party is going to keep them in the country and which party wants to get them out. They are literally trying to manufacture the perfect voter, the one who's like Black folks who are stupid, who say, oh, if you vote for Trump, he's going to put you back in chains. They need the Hispanic who says, oh, if you vote for Trump, they're going to send you back to Venezuela. See, that's the type of voter the Democrats want.
Right. They what you're saying is they are concocting a Frankenstein of a voter, the perfect Frankenstein voter who will just bend to their will. I mean, it ain't gonna be a Frankenstein. Frankenstein eventually broke out and started doing his own thing. But they're gonna allow the Democratic Party to control their political decisions. I mean, that was the objective in allowing all these people to flood in here, man. Like, it's no other reason why they would destabilize the country. They couldn't have won that last election with Joe Biden without finessing it, So they needed to do something, and that was the solution that they came up with. But people warned us about this. They warned us about this 20 years ago, that they was gonna flood the zone with immigrants.
Oh, of course. And that's why a lot of people voted for Barack Obama, because he had a strong stance against immigration. But I'll tell you what they want to do is, as Black people gain more access to information and inevitably start to split down the middle when it comes to who we support politically, the Democrats need a new crop of single issue voters. That's what it's all about. We need to create or import single issue voters. And a illegal immigrant, if he is given the power to vote, you know what the only issue, you know the one issue that's going to impact where his vote goes every time? Citizenship, deportations, DHS, ICE, etc. And it's and you want me to tell you why? There's numbers that the Democrat Party, you know, CNN, MS or BS Now and all that, there's numbers that they are receiving that paint a picture that they don't like. They're finding out that most Americans actually support the idea of voter ID. That's why you had Chuck Schumer getting on stage talking about he wants 11 million illegal immigrants to be given citizenship or to be naturalized immediately, because they understand that when it comes to voters, even on the Democrat side, want to see more integrity in the elections. I'm gonna play this real quick.
Let's turn to voter ID. Nicki Minaj posted on X this week what sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID. Like, they're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? It's interesting. CNN has admitted that the majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj here.
83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote. What about by party? What's the party break? Yeah, normally you might expect, hey, there'd be a big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it. But not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote.
Nick, they're pretty big numbers.
Yeah, and it's consistent with the polls that we've done at Signal too. It's always in the high 70s to low 80s. This is a bipartisan consensus type issue, and quite frankly, I'm glad that someone like Nicki Minaj, who's not day in and day out in politics, is speaking out about this, because the message that we're hearing from Democrats, it's frankly offensive to suggest that Black voters and voters of color can't get an ID, and thus we can't implement voter ID. Americans, we show ID to buy alcohol.
Okay, so you guys heard that, right? So basically, all America, because 95% of Republicans like me, we believe in voter ID. Nicki Minaj, she's a damn immigrant and she believes in voter ID, which makes total sense. And even 76% of Democrats, and they interviewed probably way more Democrats than anybody else, agree that voter ID is necessary. Okay, but what about the independents? They didn't put the independents on there because it would have been a landslide. Independents would have said we need voter ID by probably 95%, just like the Republicans. Here's the issue. They're using African American people as the excuse to not institute voter ID. They're not saying, oh, well, we can't have voter ID because then if we get voter ID, the illegal Hispanics won't be able to vote. They know they can't say that. So they are saying that this is the Democrats' talking point. African Americans are too stupid to go get an ID at the DMV, which we all have ID. I have a passport and ID somewhere around here. they're saying black people are too stupid to get ID. So if you put in voter ID, then that's going to disproportionately impact the ability of African Americans to vote. Boy, everybody you know got an ID. Big Mama, everybody else got ID. My daughter's 17 years old. She's had an ID since she was 16. I know a kid who's retarded that works with a friend of mine. He has an ID. I know autistic kids that have IDs. They're 16 years old, 17 years old. But black people are too stupid to get an ID. So therefore, if you require ID to vote, you're going to be hurting black folks. They literally only use black people as a prop or a stepping stone for their bad ideas. That is it. How can we make this about black people and thus make it about race? The same people who have yet to speak out against these people calling this man the hard ER because he was doing his job. Oh, I don't vote. It don't matter who gets elected. Well, you don't vote, but you're being used as a excuse or a reason to pass some of the worst policies in the history of this country. They can't run on a single thing for illegal immigrants. They can't. So they need to somehow marry the plight of black people to the plight of illegal immigrants, to criminal immigrants, so that they can basically use us to help them replace us. Think about that. So they could use us. They're using us to help them replace us. But nobody wants to pay attention to that. No one wants to accept the reality of that. Everyone is just kind of like, oh, it don't matter. It don't matter. My question to black folks is, okay, when is it going to start mattering? When is it going to start mattering? Where does it have, what point does it have to get to before we as a group of people say, you know what? This ain't right. This ain't right. Oh, I know it's going to have to get to the point where our vote is worthless. Then we're going to start trying to get out there. Hey, y'all, let's get out and vote. And they're not going to care. I mean, they don't even, it's like we already knew since we was little. They don't even mention black folks until every 4 years when it's time to get the presidency. Black women, they thought they was the new wave. Oh, they gonna give it to us now because the black man, and now look at them, everybody getting laid off crying on damn TikTok because they done lost their job. Now they got to turn themselves into street meat to make ends meet. Street meat to make ends meet. Only in America. But see, and this is what I'm saying. Black people have been playing a very dirty game for a very long time. And it's finally starting to catch up with us. And you ain't gonna be able to keep playing this game. You're gonna have to make a decision on who you want to be and what you want to do and where you're trying to go. Like, what is your goal? Playing this, oh, I'm gonna just come down on the side of the Democrat Party whenever they call me up to bat. Nah, that's not gonna work anymore. You're gonna have to develop a political ideology and stick to it. That's why a lot of this stuff with the Epstein files is really pissing me off. I got people posting stuff on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff. Oh, the Epstein file, Epstein file, Epstein file. Bro, if they found out every politician in Washington was a PDF file, these people would do nothing. You know what they'll say? I told you so. See, I was telling y'all. A bunch of losers who want to feel like they're smarter than somebody, so they're going to keep on bombarding you with nonsense that they can't even explain. Let me see what this says. Usually when a black celeb like Nicki and Kanye are used as examples, they're most likely programmed to say what the higher-ups want them to say, and all efforts to push an agenda. I don't know. I think that people who are rich and people who are artists, I think they kind of have their head on their shoulders, and I think they say what they want to say. Because the side that I saw, Nubian Warrior, the side that I saw pushing celebrities to the forefront was the Democrats, particularly when Kamala Harris was running for president and she couldn't spend enough money to pay artists to get on stage and pretend like they supported her campaign. I mean, this girl paid Beyonce. Let that sink in. Kamala Harris paid Beyonce to get on stage and still not say that she supported her campaign. Just to say, all right, y'all, get out and vote. She also paid Meg the Stallion. They have an ongoing romance with Bruce Springsteen, who has produced songs with many racist lines, directed and predatory lines directed at God knows who. So this thing with, oh, if she says this is what the higher ups say. I think the higher ups want Nicki Minaj to be promoting LGBTQ and all this nonsense. I don't think they want her promoting like MAGA and Trump and all this stuff. I don't think they want her promoting that. Kamala just sounded really dumb during her campaign. She really did. She's not an intelligent person, and that's the type of person that that they want in power. Kamala sounded like exactly what she is. Kamala was the person who was just gonna say, okay, I'll do it to everything. That's all Kamala was. Kamala was a Manchurian candidate, just like Biden. We had two Manchurian candidates in office. One, because his cognitive ability was failing, so he just had to do what he was told. The other, she was so untalented and garbage as a political figure. She just had to do whatever she was told, or else she would have just been exposed. But she exposed herself on that campaign trail. It was so sad seeing her go out like that, but it was also very funny and entertaining at the same time. So it is what it is. But I want to play this other clip because I want to talk about the Epstein files a little bit and how this stuff has just spiraled out of control. All the online conspiracy theorists think they have some type of win, and oh, look at this person, they were in the Epstein files. Did you guys know that Russell Wilson is in the Epstein files? Did you guys know that his wife Sierra is in the Epstein files? Did you know that a bunch of your little black heroes are in the Epstein files? Obama's in the Epstein files. But even though these people are in the Epstein files, normal people like me, we don't think anything of it because they made it very clear. A lot of what's in the Epstein files is stuff that was said or tips that were dropped over 3 different hotlines that ultimately end up being pranked by people who were calling in, just making up outlandish stories about political figures in relation to Epstein. The same way you guys are acting hysterical, trying to post all that stuff and, oh, this person was on Epstein Island. And, that's the same type of people who way back in like, what 2000, it was several years ago, but 2000 something, that's the same way they were acting. Imagine giving all the conspiracy theorists on earth a hotline to call to drop their conspiracies against whatever political figure or celebrity that they don't like. That is exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. You gave conspiracy theorists an open line to give you or to share with you the most outlandish conspiracies on earth. And they did exactly that. LTZ said, Trump said yesterday that he was not in the latest release of the Epstein files. I don't know whether he's in it or not. I don't know. I didn't see that part. But what I would say is that Trump, I'm with Trump on this in the sense that I believe he was exonerated. It kind of exonerated him when they made it very clear that the journalist Scott Wolf colluded with Jeffrey Epstein to destroy Donald Trump's first presidential campaign. So if you got Epstein himself and Scott Wolf or whatever his name is colluding to destroy Trump, why didn't Epstein just say, look, he was on my island, he was doing this and he was doing that? Because Epstein was already going to jail. He was already going to jail. I don't understand how you could have someone as big as Donald Trump coming to your island, you're going to jail. Because at the time when Epstein was going to jail, I'm sure Epstein was trying to reach out to whoever he could to see if anybody could save his skin, right? Do you not think he would have reached out to Donald Trump to help him if he thought that he had some dirt on Trump? He could have been like, yo, bro, help me get out of this situation. Or I'm going to tell everybody about that thing you was doing with them teenage girls. It doesn't make any sense. But I know that I've watched Donald Trump be repeatedly investigated throughout his whole first term. I'm watching him being investigated now. And it's just like, when does this get old? When do you get tired of this? When do you get tired of this, trying to play this gotcha game with the president of the United States, especially when you're a conspiracy theorist? So you think that the whole government is just a cabal of PDF files and predators. If you believe that, well, then you really know that what you're doing is futile, because they'll just try to cover it up. But it's not really about logic, is it, with these people? It's simply about them trying to make it seem like they know something that you didn't know, that you don't know, or that you didn't know. It's just an ego thing. And that's what makes it really disgusting. And that's what pisses me off with that whole situation. It's just like, dude, you're not giving nobody game. But I want to play this clip with this guy who talks about 10 facts about Trump from the Epstein files. Hold on. Oh, shoot.
Here are 10 facts about Donald Trump from the Epstein list. Number one, Donald Trump is mentioned in the document, but not in a way that adds proven criminal liability. Trump's name appears in some of the released files, but the Department of Justice and reputable news outlets emphasize that these mentions do not constitute verified evidence. Number two, some, I would argue,
African internet. I'm blaming this on
most are unverified tips where Trump were included. Some of these people were bona fide schizophrenics. 95% of these documents that were released, they were investigative documents, meaning they've already investigated it and they proved them not to be credible. Number three, the DOJ has officially said nothing in the new release is actionable. Four, some sensational claims linked with Trump have been officially dismissed. Number five, the current release, if like I said, mostly investigative records, not indictment. Number six, Trump has already publicly responded to the files. Seven, investigative context matters, ladies and gentlemen. It matters. Epstein was connected to many high-profile figures, including Trump historically. They socialized from the 90s to the early 2000s, but historical social contact is not the same as evidence of involvement of having with kids. All right. Number eight, prior claims about Trump and Epstein has been addressed outside of this release. Everything that was in this release has already been talked about and disproven. Number nine, media mentions don't equal incriminations. In other words, it doesn't matter how much bum diddly doodah Don Lemon says about Donald Trump, doesn't mean that he was diddling with kids. Number 10, experts in DOJ underscore limits of this release. Legal analysts and DOJ officials alike have stressed these documents are historical records and notes, not a new indictment package.
And just knowing the nature of a lot of people, I know that hurts your feelings. I know that, because I can't keep calling the president a pedophile, now I'm hurt about that, right? And honestly, when I talk about this, I don't even talk about it to defend the president. I talk about it because imagine a world where everyone's just an accuser. Imagine a world where no matter if you've done anything wrong or not, all it takes is for a suggestion, and now everybody on earth is like, well, all these people are all of a sudden accusing you of doing something you never done. I would hate to live in a world like that. I would absolutely hate to live in a world like that. I know you guys know my friend Jakari. He comes up here sometimes on this show, and he posted a picture from the Epstein files of a human body on a table stuffed up like a turkey with the legs crossed like a turkey. He says, he tags me in this picture, bro. He tags me in this picture and says, bro, what type of meat is this? Like, kind of like a gotcha. Bro, I took the image, I searched it. The image came from a movie called Thanksgiving, where they like some cannibal like kidnaps people and then like consumes them like Thanksgiving dinner. I sent this back to him and was like, dude, you literally posted something from the Epstein files, that's from a movie, trying to insinuate that there was cannibalism happening at Epstein Island. Bro, do you think when he found out the truth, do you think bro came back and was like, you know what, bro, you right, I was wrong, I shouldn't have posted that, I should have did my research? He didn't even mention it. These people are just throwing shit out to gaslight you. They're just throwing stuff out to piss you off, to see how they're going to get you to have a knee-jerk reaction, and then they'll sit back and just laugh at it. Let me get this 10 speed. Brandon, there are no Black Americans out there protesting, just a boule politician type for the most part. We have really delineated, and most of us hope ICE get them, however, take a survey on this. I mean, I already know it shouldn't be many of us who support that stuff. But this is what I'm saying. People just throwing out misinformation. They know the information is no good, but they're so desperate for clicks and views. They're so desperate to get a little bit of attention on the internet. And it's really sad. And I'm telling you, man, watch if the Democrats take power in 2028. Watch how fast they move to pass a censorship bill. Watch how fast they move to pass a bill making it criminal to knowingly and purposely post misinformation on the internet. They're already doing that in the UK. But how did the UK get to the point where they could put that in and people not trip about it? Well, because people in the UK saw people just posting all types of nonsense on the internet, and they also saw people getting duped and freaking fooled by it. But what it really is that they want to use this as a way to suppress people who go against their narrative. So, like, people keep talking about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. I really haven't seen Donald Trump doing anything even remotely considered fascist. But every day they're using this word fascist, fascist, fascist. Now, what I have seen is left-wing radical lunatics setting up blockades in major cities all across America where they won't let you drive your car through unless you show ID. So how much is that for fascism? They're calling the Republican Party and Donald Trump fascist, but they are creating or perpetuating fascism in their own community, all in the name of fighting against Donald Trump. And it really doesn't make sense. But I call it becoming a fascist to fight a so-called fascist. It's just like what Nietzsche said. You know, basically, you don't want to become the monsters that you're fighting against. But that's exactly what the left is doing. Because let's be real, the left has always been, they've always been the monsters. They've always been the KKK. They've always been the racists. They've always been the ones who hated Black people and coveted what African American or Black people had from day one. It's really ridiculous. But let's see. But yeah, so the link is in the comments. If anybody has any more thoughts on this stuff, feel free. Let me post the link in the comments one more time, in case one of y'all want to come up and drop some opinions on this. And then there was something else I wanted to talk about. Hold on real quick. Guys, don't forget we have super chat available. If you want to drop a contribution, hit the button at the bottom right hand corner to drop a super chat contribution. Also pinned to the top of the comments, we have Cash App, we have PayPal up there. If you want to bless your boy while I'm out of the country in the motherland, please feel free to do so. I appreciate it, especially if you send it through Cash App, because I get that joint immediately. So thank y'all in advance. So what do we have? What do we have? Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about is I might do that in another video, but basically there's a lot going on with these anti-ICE protests. I don't know if you guys saw, but these people tried to like lay siege to a federal building in Los Angeles. Let me see what Tinsby said. Hold on. Brandon, what do you think about Trump's deal with the governor of Minnesota and the mayor? Do you think they're going to jail? No, I don't think they're going to jail. Like I said I said this a while back. I said that whatever deal they made probably involves granting them some type of immunity, because the 180-degree turnaround they did, sending the police in to get rid of those woke radicals, they had to have been given something. They had to have been given people have to be given something to make that kind of a turn so rapidly. Zarth4 said, Donald Trump is right. People like to ignore the truth. The Democrat Party doesn't benefit us. It doesn't. It doesn't. I have yet to meet a black person who can tell me how or why or how the Democrat Party benefits them. And I don't think I'm ever going to meet a black person who can tell me, who can articulate it. They're literally just like, this is what my granny did, this is what my mama did, this is what my daddy did, this is what I'm going to do. The stupidest perspective you have in politics. Or they say, I'm an independent, but I'm going to keep voting Democrat. It's just dumb. It just doesn't make any damn sense. Just 1 second. Okay, here we go. Found it. Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense. It seems to me like the Democrat Party is losing steam, but I also understand that you have a lot of diehard Democrat voters who they don't care about the country. They don't care about, being able to like thrive and grow in America. All they care about is if their side wins. So you have to be knowledgeable of that. Too. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah. Ooh. What do you guys? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use Greg Foreman for this one. I want to talk about the situation with Zoran Mamdani. How this guy, socialism is failing again for how many time? This guy became mayor of New York, made a bunch of empty promises to the people of New York, basically made them think that he was going to give them everything free and buses was going to be free and he was going to go in on the landlords and yada, 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 and all this stuff. And now that he's of New York, this guy is straight up struggling. This guy can't deliver any of the things that he has promised because he is having a humongous budget deficit. He is having a humongous budget deficit, and he doesn't know what to do about it. But right here, yeah. Here. So now the people of New York are turning on this guy. Check this out.
First big test, that is the extreme cold and snowstorm that has battered the East Coast and making sure the most vulnerable are taken care of. As it stands right now, New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani said a total of 14 people have died outside during the dangerously cold weather. I highlight this because according to report, the deaths are drawing scrutiny into Mamdani's use of a standard outreach strategy of asking homeless people if they need shelter and his reluctance to remove people off the street against their will, except as a last resort. So far, 825 people have been placed in shelters. 15 people have been forced off the streets. There's also the cleanup there. Also, actress Deborah Messing got in the critique while sitting stuck in a cab, posting this to X. Sitting in a taxi trying to get to an appointment should have taken 20 minutes. We are an hour and 10 minutes and counting. The streets are a disaster. Hasn't snowed in 5 days and the streets still haven't been cleared. Poor ambulance is sitting essentially a parking lot and the sirens are going. I'm praying for the person needing emergency care. I've lived here for 15 years. This go round, and this has never happened. The plows have always worked around the clock to get the city to working. I wonder what has happened.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. Again, y'all voted for the third world, right? You voted for Mumbai, right? This is what you got, right? You got New Delhi, right? This is what you voted for. You got Uganda.
Also point this out, the trash now piling up. There was a big article about that in the Mirror. The NYC Sanitation Department has said pickup will be limited because of the conditions outdoors. You can see it piling up kind of all over the place. But that's just when it comes to the storms. The mayor has also promised free busing, right? Big part of his campaign, but now there are complaints. Fare evaders are meeting big losses for the city of New York. When combined with subway fare evaders, it cost the city approximately $900 million last year. And now it looks like the MTA Metro Transit Authority is going to make people pay. By the end of the year, it plans to hire people to check fares of bus passengers once they're on board to ensure fare evasion doesn't happen. Okay.
So it's almost as if this stuff called.
Okay, so you had that. I mean, I think that's as much as any of us needs to see. So, like we said, socialism is a failure once again. And and what I love about the fact that Zoran Mamdani is failing, Brandon Johnson is failing. If you look at the girl over there in Seattle, she's failing. Clearly, the situation in Virginia is just bad. If you haven't watched my video about Spamberger over there, the governor, just go watch that. The situation in Virginia is horrible. But what I love about socialism failing in the United States, like within these cities, is this. When socialism used to fail in other countries, people used to use the excuse, well, the countries in the West would interfere with them, and we have never seen socialism practiced without the interference of imperialism and all this blah, blah, gobbledygook, right? But now, if you look at the cities that have voted in these democratic socialist mayors, what is the excuse now? I'll wait. What is your excuse now? Also, Zoran Mamdani couldn't get the trash picked up because of Western interference. Brandon Johnson had to raise the property taxes on the poorest Chicagoans because imperialistic interference. No, it's just a losing strategy. This man promised free because he knew that was what it was going to take to get your ignorant butt to vote for him. And the minute he got in office, all the free stuff went out the window. He ran through an $8 billion reserve in less than a month. Now he's entering territory where he's going into debt and can't even pay his bills. He's not getting the trash swept up, the trash picked up. He's not getting the snow plowed. So plastic bags are just piling up on the streets of New York City. Who is the socialist going to blame for that? That wasn't happening under Eric Adams. That wasn't happening under Cuomo. That wasn't happening under, that wasn't even happening under Bloomberg. But all of a sudden you put the socialist in, and now the machine is falling apart because he's so busy promising everybody free shit. He hasn't figured out, how am I going to pay for all this free stuff? Zoran Mamdani is the person who tells you, I don't believe in personal property, but owns a bunch of personal property in the country that's next over from me, Uganda. His parents are multimillionaires. But he runs around with this idea like, I'm going to just keep telling them everything free and making them think that I care about him. I care about them. And it's like, no, dude, he is a con artist. He's a con artist. Point blank, period. He's a damn con artist. And what's worse about this dude being a con artist is that there was a bunch of suckers who fell for it. That's the worst part. There was a bunch of suckers who fell for it. I think I messed up, but yeah. This guy just found the dumbest people among us. They're getting a voice now. The dumbest people in America are having a say now. And they're choosing to use their voice as a their opinion and their power, they're attempting to use it as a vehicle to gain freebies, to gain handouts. They don't give a damn about anybody else. They'll say, oh, I care about you, but they're all thinking in their mind, as they're lying to you, telling you how much they care about you, they're thinking about, what can I get for myself? How is this gonna benefit me? That's it.
Live from New York, people.
There's the
It
trash.
is snowing, and the sanitary department is behind in picking up. This is a mountain of garbage right here. It stretches almost the whole block. Setting that.
So I'm walking on 89th Street in between York and East End, which is the closest street to Mayor Mamdani's house. It is completely trashed. I just want you to show you how disgusting it looks. And at the end, you'll be able to see just how close we are to his house, which is at the end of this street. Here. Just so you have reference. Can't forget over here. This has been here a while. Oh, and I did see trucks pass, but no one's picking up the garbage. Okay, now if you get down here, see those stairs? That's where the mayor lives. Okay, here we have more garbage. I mean, it's just such a joke at this point, and it's been like this for days. This is my dog walking street.
Yo, Zoran, where are you? Where is Zoran Mamdani? The streets of New York looks like a fucking dump. You have garbage piled the fuck up to the top. You have snow all over the fucking place.
Boy. So we gotta talk about socialist.
Hold on, we're not done. Hold on, we got more.
209 million pounds of salt across New York.
It was cool to force people who didn't know any better or did not have the mental capacity to make the best decision for themselves to seek shelter, right? Doing this when a storm, and as a result, now you have, again, bodies piling up. We have 16 deaths that have been confirmed thus far. And this is Zoran basically confirming that, people are dying under his watch because of his policies.
Everyone, I want to begin with just a few words about the winter weather that continues to linger across our city. First, city workers continue their remarkable efforts to lift millions of tons of snow off of city streets. DSNY workers have worked relentlessly to melt over 122 million pounds of snow and to lay more than 209 pounds of salt, 209 million pounds of salt across New York. As of 8 a.m. this morning, workers have cleared 44,646 crosswalks, 16,532 bus stops, and 9,764 fire hydrants. A severe cold front continues to bear down on our city. Today is our 11th consecutive day of below freezing weather, and we could very well be in the middle of the longest period of consecutive sub-32 degree weather in our city's entire history. Without temperatures rising above freezing, snow has hardened into blocks of ice. But the greatest danger posed by this sustained cold is to vulnerable New Yorkers who remain exposed to the elements. As of this morning, 16 of our fellow New Yorkers have passed away outside during this brutal stretch of cold. In 13 of these cases, preliminary findings indicate that hypothermia played a role, and 3 of these deaths appear to be overdose deaths. We await final results from the medical examiner's office and will inform New Yorkers as we learn more.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, again, why did they?
Okay, so the socialist mayor, right? He is about, freedom. Everybody should be able to do whatever the hell they want whenever they want to do it. And that sounds good to someone who's like 14 years old, right? Or some loser who peaked in high school. But the reality is you have a lot of drug addicted people who are living on the streets of New York, right? So New York has a policy where they'll force people inside into shelters and places like that when the temperature is going to go below freezing. Well, Zoran Mamdani, in all his wisdom, decided, hey, we're not going to force people to go inside. They're free. They have a right to go and stay outside if they want to. Well, guess what? They stay outside, they hit themselves with the needle. They get on that heroin, they get on that fentanyl, they pass out. While they're passed out in their tent, the temperature plummets to below freezing. They die. So he says, well, 13 were hypothermia. Well, yeah, hypothermia because they were laying there probably high as hell on fentanyl, and then 3 were overdose deaths, right? They're probably all hypothermia deaths, but he's just trying to lighten the blow or soften the blow on himself a little bit, right? But this is what you get when you have irresponsible leadership. Why couldn't Zoran just come in and do business as usual, get his city through that rough winter, and keep it moving? They'll say, oh, they're moving all these millions of tons of snow and all this stuff. Well, Zoran, this is the funny part. We have weather reports that tell us what the weather is going to be before the weather actually happens. Bro was trying to do bullshit socialism, fake freedom, socialism crap, and it backfired on them because these people are not serious. They're not worried about the administration of the city. They're worried about lying to you, selling you pie in the sky so you'll continue to focus on that while they steal your money, while they give your money to their buddies in the forms of contracts, and their buddies kick them back money on the back end. We got some New Yorkers in the building. Master Shock Value said, very true. I live in NYC. Yeah, it's very common sense. But everywhere you go, you see these same type of issues happening. Master Shock Value said, I see some passed out inside of McDonald's. Right. But see, and here's the thing. Everywhere socialism is being attempted, it's failing everywhere. So now when we go into the third, in my opinion, like the third iteration or installment of socialism, because I would say you had socialism, in the 1800s in some places that fell through. Then you had socialism during like the Stalin era that fell through, the USSR era that fell through, China, Mao Zedong, and you have now. I would say this is like the third implementation of socialism. But here's the problem. Here's the good thing. Now that socialism is being tried in American cities where people could feel the impact of it, and it's inevitably going to fail, we can stop this conversation about socialism. Because we've witnessed socialism fail with Brandon Johnson in Chicago. We've witnessed socialism fail with Zoran Mamdani in New York. Katie, what is that lady's name? I think her name is Katie, the mayor of Seattle. I want to get her name right. She is a socialist bedouin. She's trying to do like socialist policies. I think her name is Katie something. Oh, Katie Wilson. She's the mayor of Seattle now. Socialism is failing over there, but she's going to continue to try to push socialist policies. We got the mayor of my town, Rex Richardson. He's a jerk. This guy's trying to do like socialist crap, but it's backfiring on him incredibly bad. But I love that it's failing in these major cities because we will be done with the socialism conversation once and for all, because no one will be able to say that imperial forces or imperialistic pressure caused the socialist agenda not to work. It's just a total nothing burger. And it's very funny because I'm looking at Zoran Mamdani. He's in crisis right now. And I'm sitting here saying, okay, so when is the free stuff going to come? He promised all this free stuff. When is the free stuff going to come so that we can all take advantage of the free stuff? Let's be real. The free stuff is never coming. That was just smoke. Zoran was blowing up your ass to get you to do what he wants you to do. And that's all socialists will ever be. They will only ever be a bunch of liars and thieves who try to convince you that they're the good guys and that they got your best interest at heart while they're getting rich. You're getting poor, they're getting richer. Once you learn that, that's all you're going to need to know. But guys, we're not going to drag this on too long. We've been here for an hour and 30. I hope you enjoyed the content today. I know it's a little bit of a weird setup because I'm just, traveling around. But when I get back to Nairobi, I will be back with my laptop and we can get some more shows going. Until then, stay tuned into the channel. We have some videos, some pre-recorded videos that I'm going to be posting here today in the next couple of days. Take advantage of those. Please watch them. Until the next time, like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And just take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Till the next time. Peace.